What's going on, Cancer? And welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and I hope you're feeling phenomenal today. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just amazing, Cancer, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Harris has brought you here. We're in for an amazing journey. So, the purpose of this channel, for those of you who have Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Jupiter, wherever Cancer, this one's for you. And I do tarot card spreads based off our lovely ruler here, the good old Moon. I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, and when she's going void of course, just all of those lunar shenanigans. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force reading on a situation, and everything will be dope, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Feeling enthusiastic, Cancer. And the crystals, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Cancer. And Cancer, happy Jupiter Day. Hope you're feeling expansive. Hope you're feeling just abundant. And Cancer, the moon is going void of course today. And I love that. It's Jupiter Day. And Jupiter's here. So it's just an auspicious time here, Cancer. The moon is going to be going void of course at about 7:05 in the morning. And that's going to be Eastern time. And she'll be moving from Pisces into Aries at about 8:17 in the evening p.m. So that'll be, so we're looking at about a 13-hour and 11-minute void of course time there, Cancer. But with the moon still being predominantly in Pisces, let's give it to them. And this is a very, very, very great placement for the moon. You know, this is a, the moon does well in a water sign, even in Scorpio, even though it tends to fall in Scorpio, she does well in water signs. But this is a very, very, I feel like very imaginative placement for the moon. Pisces has, you know, being able to tune into those divine energies and such, you know, get to really tap into source. You know, this is a great energy for doing some creation, Cancer, or, you know, whether that be through art, through dance, through music, you know, really kind of tapping into that creative side of you and tuning into those kind of just those divine energies, and really, really spiritual placement for the moon as well. And, you know, just really become one, because even Jupiter is about, you know, very spiritual planet, about expansion and growth. And, you know, you take that, couple that with Neptune, is just the opportunities are just limitless there, Cancer. And you may notice too that you might be feeling a little more empathetic and more compassionate for yourself and for others there. So it's very healing energy, I feel like, as well. And with us being the nurturers of the zodiac, I feel that's a great place, really great energy to kind of be involved in, Cancer. This is just this love, that this unconditional love that, you know, Pisces and Neptune really bring to the table. And also too, Cancer, you know, this is really great for, you know, kind of diving into your subconscious, you know, maybe paying attention to your dreams. Keep a dream journal. I had I had an aggressive amount of dreams just last night there, Cancer. I tell you, it's just it's very interesting what the, you know, when you kind of sit with those messages and what they may mean for you, Cancer. And then we're almost going to that full moon, Cancer, but we're still at that waxing gibbous. You know, moon's getting almost full there. But this is like, you know, the light at the end of the tunnel. You know, good for clarifying details, really being mindful, adjusting any sort of things that we might want to tweak or refine that we've been working on during this lunar cycle, and just observing how this has affected us, Cancer, how it has maybe brought us closer to balance in a sense. So something to really think about there. Very lovely energy. I love this associated with the Temperance card, Sagittarius, and Jupiter rules Sagittarius too. Lovely energy. But then last few things, Cancer. These readings that I do, they're not gender specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations. And then the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. But also down below some links for some other readers that I like watching, Cancer, so definitely check them out. Very cool group. I think you'd enjoy them. Let's go ahead and get into your general energy of the day. Oh, and look at you getting ready. And I like this, Cancer, getting ready for that full moon tomorrow, because you got the 8th card is going to be in Aries tomorrow, and you got the 8th card of Aries, which is the shooting star card. And with this card, a quick action, wish granted, rare, falling, moment in time, luck, dynamic, incandescent, dazzled, sudden. short-lived, passionate, passing through, enterprising, and brilliant. And the energy that's coming through here, Cancer, is the sudden. And that's interesting because I feel like, what I'm getting with this Cancer, just considering where your energies have kind of been over the last couple of days, I feel like that things, it's like, we were coming into our intuition yesterday and really kind of talking about this. It's been very kind of being your unique self and coming into that, and a lot of cool energies that you've been in. And I feel like that, as you're starting to set your mind to things are like suddenly happening. Maybe you're noticing that manifestation has gotten a little bit quicker, or maybe you're just getting these even like sudden burst of inspirations in a sense. Maybe you realize that maybe you've had the realization like, maybe I do want to explore, maybe dancing a little bit more, or maybe, and then it's like, or you think about wanting to dance or maybe to sing or do some arts, and then next thing you know, you're seeing like a flyer for like a class, or that there's an event going on, or you start to think about love, and then maybe something like that. And it's not like it always happens like this, Cancer, but the more we're getting into that vibration, I feel like things do start suddenly happening for you. And but I will say it's a tricky one, and I feel like this is appropriate with Jupiter being here, because things suddenly happening, because sometimes I feel like too we can feel like that the bad stuff tends to, or that negative things tend to happen a lot more suddenly than the good things happen, Cancer. But notice too how easy it is when we're thinking about that energy, how easy it can be sometimes to be in that negative energy, and fall into that spiral there, and kind of maybe get lost in like a past loop or something along those lines, where being in that positive energy takes more effort than that. And I feel like it's just to paying attention as how quick your manifestation can come to be. When as soon as you make a decision, things change up a little bit. You feel a little bit lighter, you feel a little bit heavier, and it's just like it's a series of choices, and just being mindful of the wishes that you make, and the thoughts, where your thoughts are at, the words that you're kind of saying there, Cancer, because it's like, it's spelling, it's all the spells and things, this, especially I feel like, I won't speak for other languages, but I remember talking with someone about this a little while back, as far as just like being mindful with our words. We had a discussion about the, even just talking about good morning, just like how, because I'm a big fan of the daytime, like I got all this Leo, I'm always greeting, got this big energy during the day, but it is like, when you think about like that, it's morning for one instance, as opposed to good, like good, we're suffering the day or something, you know what I mean, Cancer. It's just being, I feel like, really intentional, and notice how things tend to come to foot, or when we think about something, how we can get inspired to take action even. But let me get a little bit more on this sudden, because this does give me kind of tower vibes, but not necessarily, because the tower is not a negative thing. It's just an energy that's something needs to change, that the foundation is getting kind of rocky, and it's time to evolve and time to take action and grow. But all right, Cancer, let's see what's going on here. Oh, and look at that Temperance. You're syncing up with the energies. Oh, you've been getting a lot of this self card here too, Cancer, which I'm gonna need to get a new deck here. This mirror's looking a little busted there. But you got the, and I like that. So you got the Five of Stars, the Judgment card, the Temperance, the Knight of Wands, and then the Self card here, Cancer. And the Self card's one of the special major arcanas in this deck, and of two. And then also, Cancer, the stars in this deck are Pentacles, and then the crystals are Cups. Now, let's talk about this Pentacles, that energy that we're in. Because with the Five of Stars energy, this can, look how alone she feels, how down she feels. This can be this energy of lack, that sort of like poverty, or that sort of like, that lack mentality, that sense of feeling that we don't have enough of something, or, and when we're staying in that vibration, Cancer, then that tends to be all that we have. I remember, kind of at a lower vibration, I wasn't saying very kind things to myself, and the energies were really low. And granted, on paper, we kind of looked at what was going on, like everything seemed fine, but internally the self was struggling, and there was a need for transformation here. And it's almost like there's this, which I like this Cancer. I feel like the energies of trying to lead to this sort of like this revival of you, trying to bring yourself back into balance. Because when we think about even like the good and bad and stuff, I was talking with someone about this, and I don't feel like we're necessarily inherently bad, negative or positive. I feel like we come into this world balanced, and it's the energies that kind of sway us one way or another, and we're always trying to maintain that sense of just resonance, of that highest vibration and things. And because I feel like too, when we stay in that lower kind of vibration, that keeps us, it takes the joy out of our lives, that Cancer. It keeps us from, from seeing the joys that life can bring, and even finding joys in the challenges. It can be kind of tough there with the Knight of Wands, or with the Five of Stars kind of affecting the Knight of Wands, but it's not to say that that it's impossible, Cancer. Where there's a will, there is a way, but I feel like it's just, again, we got to watch that vibration, and then watch how things suddenly tend to change, and how, I'm thinking with Pluto energy, with the Judgment card now, it's like how we can regain this power and really kind of reflect the things that we want. Like, our external world is a reflection of our internal world, and when we're in turmoil and things are out of balance, then that's what tends to happen. And kind of look around, Cancer. Just pay attention to your environment and the people that are around you as well, because this may not even be energies that you are necessarily feeling, being as powerful feelers as you are. This might be something where we might be picking up on the people around you. We're, what is that saying? Like, we're a culmination of the five closest people kind of closest to us there, that we're always around their, Cancer. So you got to watch that energy. And sometimes, Cancer, it may not even be the energies that of just those around you. It could be just, again, like maybe at your workspace, or maybe just even being out and about. Maybe you happen to commute to work on a subway, so you notice someone energies is bringing you down, and you just inherently kind of pick that up. Very similar to Pisces in a sense. There's one that they're also ones, and all of us need to protect our energies. And maybe this is something where we're working with crystals or, Cancer. I usually keep like a black tourmaline on, especially when I know I'm gonna be out and about, unless like amongst a busy space, or just having something on me. If you notice the energies are kind of bringing you down there, but yeah, just something to think about there, Cancer. And that's a trickiness with Jupiter too, where he is an abundant planet. He doesn't discriminate as far as like what vibration you're at, because that's what he's going to give you an abundance of. So, just something to think about there, Cancer. Thank you. Cancer, let's see what's going on here. Oh, interesting. Oh, and there's Big Papa Jupiter. I'm with it. So you have the Wheel of Fortune, the Jupiter energy, the Hierophant, the Five of Cups, the Six of Wands, and then the Eight of Cups here, Cancer. And let's talk about the Hierophant here for a second, Cancer. Because I feel like with this energy, there's this, I feel like it's a learning how to keep this balance with all of the different types of people, all the different energies that can come your way. It's like, how do we keep that divine connection with ourselves without getting wrapped up in how upsetting the world can be sometimes, or maybe even like how it can feel like that, just like that negative things tend to happen, just to all the time, or it's just like, when we're kind of stuck in those sort of like tougher cycles there, how do we, it's almost like, how do we let go of the sense that, that we won't be able to move past this? Because sometimes I feel like when we're in that slump, and you kind of like in that funk that it can feel like it'll last forever. But then when we're feeling in a good vibration, sometimes it's just where we get to that energy of like, well, how long is this gonna last? And see, I feel like it's like changing the narrative of that and enjoying, because without the negative there, Cancer, there wouldn't be any positive. There needs to again always be that sense of temperance, you know. And and again, it's hard there, Cancer. I feel like trying to keep that energy high when we have such a, we're not sure how long our journeys are going to be, you know. But I feel like it's finding those things that help keep you again connected to source. Maybe this is through meditation, maybe this is getting out in nature, maybe this is going for a walk, maybe this is writing in a journal, maybe this is playing some music. Finding those different tools to kind of counteract that stuff as opposed to just like, well, this thing will just kind of eventually I'll get out of this funk eventually, but because I'm even kind of thinking too, Cancer, just really like I feel like we can sometimes get so focused on the fact that like how this figure's focusing on these three spilled cups, instead we forget that there are different more opportunities behind us, and really there's a whole river sitting right next to her that she can just go and fill them cups right back up there to be fine, girl. But and I even sort of been thinking too, Cancer, because I like that Jupiter kind of came up here with the Hierophant. This is Taurus energy, because Jupiter's going to be in Taurus for the next year. And I feel like sometimes too, when we're in those tougher energies, we can get into that kind of escapist mode, or sort of look for those sort of quick immediate type of fixes, as opposed to looking for something again like maybe a little bit healthier to deal with these energies. I was talking about journaling, maybe getting outside, maybe it's working with maybe you're natural with animals, Cancer, maybe you need to go horseback riding or rock climbing or whatever that's looking like. And it's like in cause Taurus can deal with like self-esteem as well, because when we're feeling that lack, that affects our self-esteem and just diminishes our image and tarnishes that mirror in a sense, but and in Cancer, keep in mind too when I talk about like enthusiasm, and like, and even just thinking like maybe putting like positive affirmations up, it's not to say that if we just get in those, just tell ourselves it's going to be okay, that it's going to make the situation magically go away. But it does help us see it from a higher perspective, and see why this thing needed to happen in the first place, in order to teach us, like maybe this is teaching us more discernment, or this is learning not to, whatever that case may be. All right, Cancer. Let's get some advice from Jupiter and Neptune. Love that Jupiter popped up there. That's dope. All right, Cancer. Last little bit here. All right. So you have the Six of Cups, the Eight of Stars, the Seven of Wands, and then the Ace of Crystals here, Cancer. And then let's go ahead and switch back over. Because I feel like Cancer, really, considering how we can pick up energies of those around us, and really pick up those feelings there. Make sure to protect your energies, because you may just be, again, you might just be picking up on something else there. Or, because I remember talking with some people once, and the energies that they were sort of talking about, or the ideas that they were kind of throwing around, was this very kind of stagnant type of energy, like like living in Groundhog Day, and just kind of observing that they had talked, made their comments, and then kind of looked to me, and I was just like, oh, I'm not contributing to that. I was just like, oh, well, that sounds like it's time for something to change, you know, and not in like a crappy way, but it's just like, let's shift this up there. Like, how do we get out of that routine? You know, how do we? And it takes some work there, Cancer, but it seemed like, you know, it's really, again, it's really easy to get wrapped up in that sort of like negative talk and things like that. But you know, it's like we can either, I feel like with the Six of Cups, we can either accept the fact that this is how things are just going to be and that's it, or we can come to the acceptance that we can change this thing and that what's going on around us is what we've brought into play there, you know. And it's not to say that you brought about, like, you know, that negative things just happened to you just because, Cancer, that you wanted this, but it's more so that it's just like, how can we take these experiences and grow from that, and then share that with others as well, kind of help them, you know, pass along that sort of like divine wisdom that you get from these situations there, because it can, again, it can be difficult when we're going through these situations, but it doesn't just have to just always be difficult. It can be challenging, but we can overcome this thing, you know. We can rise above this and do, then change, things just start changing suddenly, you know. It's just that minor shift, you know, just like and then believing that as well, and it's just like, okay, I can do this, bam. And it may not be anything big at first, it might just be little minor shifts, but as you start, the more small wins that you get, Cancer, then the bigger that they're getting, and now you're accumulating, now the abundance is coming back in. It's just like, now we turn the faucet back on, because if we just got it all back at once, it would be overwhelming, Cancer, and we wouldn't even know what to do with it. But you know, as we kind of, it's like the body needs to recalibrate to the energies again and just reharmonize. So all right, Cancer, I think I'm gonna leave that there. Hopefully that made sense. But if maybe that resonated with you, Cancer, give it a thumbs up and share this, Cancer, because I do feel that it's again, it takes some work. You know, I feel with the, you know, how we're talking with the Eight of Stars there, but when we get in that routine of wanting to make that conscious shift, then things tend to, I feel like, start to fall into place there, Cancer. Start to really kind of, again, recalibrate and, yeah, just reharmonize again. And but yeah, Cancer, and then subscribe there and hit that bell button, you Hyro fans. Hit that bell button to get notified when I release videos each day. And then last little bit, check your sun, your moon, your rising. At least for the readings, check your sun, moon, rising, and your Venus signs. But just check your chart, Cancer, because that can help you learn a lot about yourself. And it's so fascinating, the cool things. And I'm working on something, Cancer. I'll be getting something started here soon. So maybe I can help along with that, Cancer. And then come on over to my other channel, Alchemist 8. I do videos, weekly ones, yearly ones, monthly ones. It's a good old time. Actually, I just finished some studying up there for the next monthly one, and I'm just so excited. And all the housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here, so I can get you out of here, Cancer. You got the 4 stars here. You see how this 4 stars, it's like, you know, we got to, again, be mindful with our thoughts there, Cancer, because those thoughts become things, and then they can keep us shackled if we're not careful. You know, you know, the ace cards are kind of like my seed cards there. And once that little nugget's popped in there, we give that our energy, it grows and grows and grows, and then it makes it harder for us to tap into our reserves because we're holding on to this one concept so tightly, as opposed to, you know, kind of seeing that we can change this thing up. There's more to tap into, more to access than we realize. But you know, it's just like, what's keeping you shackled, Cancer? You know, what's keeping things from keeping the energies from moving and from you for growing? You know, is it the people you're around? Is it the environment you're around? Is it the things that we're watching, consume? You know, the food that we're consuming, is that lowering your vibration? Stuff that we're drinking, you know, like, what does that look like? You know, are we high? All types of questions there, Cancer. And again, I know that's a lot of work, and it can be a pain sometimes, but it doesn't just have to always be a pain, Cancer. It can be an improvement too. It can be promise for feeling, you know, just shifting that mindset up. But let's get your oracle card here so I can get you out of here, Cancer. Interesting, Cancer. I dig it. I love this. I think we got this not too long ago. So you got the 54th card here, which is the Ashwagandha card. It's a card of purpose, and this is ruled by the North Node and the Moon, Cancer. And I feel like sometimes, too, especially when we're feeling down, Cancer, we can lose that sense of purpose, and it throws our and I like that because ashwagandha is not medical advice, Cancer, but that's good for your circadian rhythm. Getting your energies back in line there. But it like I feel like it can throw our rhythm off sometimes. When we get in those lower energies, and we can forget our purpose sometimes. But I feel like when it's just taking a moment and just kind of sitting with this stuff, processing this energies, finding out what's hindering us, dealing with those deeper, asking those deeper kind of questions, because the moon deals with those energies that we kind of keep hitting, Cancer, that we only let those close to us kind of really see. And I feel like it's like as we bring that stuff to light, as it makes sense, Cancer. I feel like don't overwhelm yourself. It can be a lot, but it can kind of help you reinvigorate you and find that drive again, and to keep to power forward to tackle this journey head on there with gusto and and even optimism like that. Oof, I can't believe that took me that long to lock that in, Cancer. We were talking about that Jupiter rolling over Sagittarius. You got Jupiter and Sagittarius here, so and both are about that expansion of self. Asking those bigger questions. How can we grow? What can we learn from? And yeah, I like that, Cancer. So I think I'm gonna leave that there. Something to think about, but you stay safe out there, Cancer. These thoughts and things, and letting that stuff kind of bring you down. Because you did get a little bit of disappointing cards there, but you can grow from these stuff. They're not just meant to bring you down. They're meant for you to get eyes on some things so that we can grow from this. You keep eyes on the moon there, Cancer, because then you got that Aries card. Make a wish. What you want to change in life. And pay attention to how you get more of that positive energy. It starts to how positive things start to manifest, and how we can take those negative energies and use those to our advantage to take action. You know what I mean? Because I feel like how we feel, we're really powerful manifestors, Cancer. You really focus on what you're feeling, and then pay attention to how we can get to adjust that, to fix that feel. You're not just meant to just be in that all the time. So it's like trying not to get lost in that ocean, but it's discovering something new about yourself. And I will catch you on the next one tomorrow.